The Ashley and Martin turning point since Patrick Cripps was last with us on 360 happened here as Isaac Heaney became ineligible for the Brownlow, and suddenly all things have turned Patrick Cripps' way. He's a red-hot favourite, the highest individual honour in the game. There's more at stake in season 2024 than that, but it's the regard in which he's held across the competition that he leaves most of our individual awards at the moment. Our bobbleheads are in place, Patrick Cripps and Tom Hawkins, and they're both with us in the studio.
Nice
Paddy, great to have you back.
Thanks, Jared. Good to be back.
Tom, good to see you.
It's good being in studio.
I'm going to get you to sign that. I'll take it with me. It might be worth money. You never know. Big year.
Who knows?
Big couple of months ahead, Tommy.
Big couple of months.
Settled.
You've been on my case about this a bit.
Well,
lately.
you haven't helped.
Well, you're bringing out
hang
a
on,
book,
hang
mate.
on. Yeah, we'll get there. Brownlow favourite, which sort of has happened progressively. Does it mean anything to you at all in the course of a season?
I think if you go down that sort of path, you just get distracted by what's important. So it's I know obviously 22 was a great night when I shared with my teammates, but I don't know, I'm just tunnel vision on sort of the common goal that we all share at the moment, and we're in a position now where, you know, it's in our control in a way of the teams we verse and where we are on the ladder. So I'm just excited about the opportunity we've got ahead, and that's what motivates me a lot at the moment.
Ask you that in another way. The Blues are challenging. How proud of you that you're at the top of your powers in a year where your football club is challenging for the flag?
Yeah, well, that's what you strive for, isn't it? Like, it's you want to play your best footy and you want to be in a side that's competing at the top end. And I know I've spoken a lot about it, but a lot of my career this time of year, you're just, you know, basically waiting for the end of the season where we're playing games that matter now, and we've got 5 games left in the year. Every game is really important for where we want to finish. We want to qualify as high as we can. So for the grind that a lot of us have been on for a lot of years, the opportunity that's in front of us right now excites a lot of us, and you can't look too far ahead. But we know come Friday it's going to be a fierce contest because every game basically is a final now from now until the end of the year.
5 weeks ago, I think your last time we asked you about your body, usually you're taped up and you still seem to be running on top of the ground. How are you feeling personally?
No, I feel great. I've had a pretty lucky year from the consistency front of training and playing, so I feel good. And now there's 5 games left in the season. You know, you got that bye pre-final, so you can sort of see light at the end of the tunnel. So you do get a bit of tunnel vision, and you just double down on everything you're doing and making sure you're still playing good footy at the back end.
I've been really surprised that they're running the Rolls Royce in the ruck. What are you doing rucking for Carlton at the moment? You might have to do more now that TDK's out for a while, but yeah, what are you doing throwing yourself in the ruck? Give us the idea behind that.
All the commentators always say that I'm tall for a midfielder, so I thought I might apply my trade in the ruck. But no, I've been doing it for a while this year. Like, we played
Giants? Yeah,
played one ruck for a bit, and I sort of like it. It's a bit of a change-up, throws a different look at the opposition. And then on the weekend, like, obviously going up against the big fella wasn't ideal, but TDK was off for a period of the time, so you sort of just do what the team needs, and that was probably the most pleasing thing for our game on the weekend. We had a lot of little hurdles throughout the game we had to navigate through and found a way to win, which was good.
What do you think of his ruck work around the ground?
Yeah, I was admiring the craft because it's not an easy position, and I've rucked as I'm 197 or 8 centimetres. I think you're just a little bit below, but you come up against some big boys. I know when I was a 21 or 2 year old rucking against Sandlands and Darren Jolly and Mark Jamar, like it's pretty daunting, but it's a great way to be. I mean, you're in the coalface anyway, but great way to be in the game, and it's been great for Sam McKay to get in the ruck and get used to being on the bodies. And
You've got to teach him. You've got to teach him forward stoppages, how you push them out the way, and then mark it and kick goals.
He's got a few more kilos on me, Big Tom, so he can manoeuvre that. But I reckon the new ruck rules definitely help the bigger bodies in the ruck because you can sort of take their space a bit. So I don't mind. I've sort of tried to learn a bit of craft as the year goes on, and earlier it was just more plugging a few holes, but as the year's gone on, I've actually tried to learn a bit about it.
From who? Who you thought?
Pitto's a good one to learn. TDK, but we got Matty Crusoe, ruck coach. So
of course.
I roved on him for a lot of years, so he's got all the tricks in the book, Big Crew. So he's done a great job with our rucks.
Do you know the hit zones?
Yeah, I know the hit zones, but half the time I just try and grab it anyway, mate.
It's a way.
Vote. He's just chasing the votes, mate.
You can have all the mids, it's an easy hit out of the advantage, Robbo.
So just take us to half time, and we've got the vision here. So form's a bit patchy, and this is a game where you've got to, this is one of those games you've got to get the points from,
Yeah.
and it's a bit rickety at half time. What have you learnt to draw on here?
Yeah, I think just controlling the energy of the breaks is so important as a leader, and it's the game's 120 minutes. Like, you're not going to have momentum the whole game. So, and I think the whole narrative around North Melbourne too. Like, since they're by, they're playing some really good footy. And we felt that in the weekend. They were really tough. That was a tough game. So we just said, let's grind it out. It's going to take 120. Might take to the last minute to overrun them, but let's just stay present, keep our energy high. And then make sure, line groups, mid forwards and backs, that you debrief, but let's make sure we come out after half-time with a lot of energy.
Because the pressure factor was 183 in the first quarter, 155 in the second, and you jumped to 214 in the third. I mean, the emphasis is, let's grind it out. Didn't you have to step up and meet the North Melbourne challenge? Because they were tougher than you. And you jumped from 155 to 214.
Yeah, it was a bit of that. We had to up our contest game, and we made a few structural changes which made the game more of a contest.
What were they?
Chincotta went down forward, and he did a great job on McKay. He was given a lot of drive out of the half back line. So there's always little tricks up the coach's sleeve. And then, like you said, that pressure, sometimes it's contagious energy too. The first half was very up and back, where the second half was very contested. And North play a very contested game. If you look at their game sort of model from first half to second half of the year, that's been a big jump in theirs. And I was really impressed with the way they played in the weekend. These competitions that even, you got to respect everyone. I reckon they'll beat a few teams on the way home.
Gosh, Tom DeCunning had a rough night by the end of it all, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a tough night. I think sometimes you've got to step back and appreciate the game, how physical, demanding it is. We talk about ruck work. Some of these rucks, they compete 60, 80 contests a game against each other, sort of bashing against each other. And even with his foot, he did that, I think, in the first or second quarter. So it just shows you how mentally tough he is. And he was actually a huge reason why we got up in the game. So, yeah, he's obviously licking his wounds a bit at the moment, but he'll be recovering. We'll get him back at some point in the year. And, I think his jump this year has been pretty special.
Have you had any contact with him since?
Yeah, I've been chatting to him most days. So I've got a good relationship with the big TDK.
Is that where it happened? That little bump was where he hurt his lung, do you know?
Oh, mate, I wouldn't know, but I know he was in the last quarter where he felt the lung, so he didn't come back on afterwards. But, he did well to keep playing.
What's the bigger problem? The foot or the lung? Do you know?
I think the foot's probably more the thing that will keep him out longer. I think the lung wasn't a fracture; it was just actually deflated lung. So
it's all right. It's just a deflated.
I know,
Tommy.
It's different if you actually puncture. I think with a broken bone. So I think that the severity of that's different. But he'll be on the pain meds right now, very loving life. But he's got a bit of a journey back to get back this year.
Can you sign this book for me, Tommy?
Happy to, Robbo.
Please, to Robbo. Thanks.
I can do that off air, absolutely.
It's interesting, Tommy, that your book's coming out. Are you still playing football? Are you preempting a decision, or are you just burning the Father Day sales?
No, I'm not. I think, first and foremost, the opportunity to write a book was something I sat on for a bit because a little bit uncomfortable and didn't know where that would sit. But having spoken to a few people before we started sitting down with Courtney Walsh and talking through my story, it's going to be a great keepsake for me and my family for a long time. So. In terms of the release date, everyone does it differently. This has been planned for a while, and I'm really excited. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but also it's been just so fun to relive my journey. And again, just I'm well aware that the end's closer than the start, but just to recap how special my journey's been. So hoping there's a part two.
I was going to say, you win get back in, win the flag. You bring out Tommy Hawkins.
Play for another couple of years, Robbo.
You could play to 38, mate. You never know.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. The foot injury's been a really interesting one because it's given me the opportunity to actually sit back, take my mind away from just playing football because I hadn't been playing the best football, neither had the team. It was a bit frustrating. So I don't like being injured.
So how have you found it stepping back, looking at it from afar?
Yep.
Is it something you may have to get used to, of course, at some stage?
Yeah, absolutely.
But did you find yourself thinking, geez, that is happening, or no, I want to get back out there and really compete? Sorry, mate.
No, absolutely. I want to get out and compete. I've been really consistent in publicly and internally talking about just that. I'm keen to play and get back out and be in a place that I love. You know, I've played footy for so long because I love being out there and trying to impact on game day. So recovery's been a little bit slow at the start. We're starting to take some good strides. I'm getting some really good results just with my loading phases that I'm going through, and still targeting the 3 to 4 week mark to return to play, that is.
So are you running?
I'm not running yet. I'm loading stair running or stair walking, stair running as a progression. But I had my toe issue a couple of years ago and seemed to come to quite quickly at the back end. So I'm predicting that the start's going to be a bit slow. From the people we've spoken to have flagged that. But once I'm moving, I'm pretty confident that I'll be coming to pretty quick.
So there's the draw. So we'll be looking at the Saints or the Eagles.
I think, optimistically looking at either Freo or St Kilda.
Oh, Freo, nice.
Maybe that's just a bit.
A bit hopeful, yeah.
But that's okay. Like you got to work towards something.
That's true.
I'm being punished in the cross training and room and swimming pool. So the sooner I can get out there, the better for my well-being, I think.
It's on Saturday with the rain and the slosh of Geelong, and you're a pretty good wet weather player. Were you thinking they could have done with me tonight?
Oh, I would have loved to have been out there. You're not playing, the team's winning. Like you can, when you're not a part of it, you can often think selfishly, maybe they're better without me. But I just love seeing them play well and getting back to the brand that we play so well. But absolutely, I would have loved to have been out there.
When they're playing and they're losing, is there a selfish?
No.
Well, maybe I can get back in.
No, I'm not. I'm certainly not thinking like that. I would have loved to have been out there to play a part, but there's none of that from my end.
What did you think of the mud down the highway? We don't get that very often anymore.
I felt like the good old days, didn't it? It was different. What it does when it is wet like that, the contest is so crucial, and you just see the collision and I love the combat of the inside game. So it forces it into a contest. Some guys are losing their feet pretty quickly, which is sometimes funny to watch. But yeah, it was a good game. Like both teams cracked in bloody hard, and as a fan, when you watch games, that's what you love to see.
Used to be every second week for a time there. Around the competition.
We're so spoilt with the grounds we play on, and I've been watching the rain radar for the last 3 months. We've had no rain. The ground's been has been used quite heavily with AFLW. Men's program, VFL, so we get a little bit of rain. I think we've got 30 mils in Geelong, and it sits there in a game before the main game was meant that it was a bit chopped up. But I kind of like it visually for something different.
Where were you when Harry McKay took his hit in the head on Friday?
I was around the area. But yeah, it's obviously had a lot of media coverage around it, but you actually unpack the steps that were involved with it. I feel like the club's followed the right protocol. Like I know there's been a lot of commentary around it, like he should have come off straight away. But at the time, I'm pretty sure they were down in the rooms with one of our players. They actually got a call from the. I'm pretty sure they got a call from the AFL to say check in.
What happened?
Well, he went down and did the HIA, passed that. So we didn't have him for the start of the fourth quarter.
Did you say what did you see when you were on the ground? What did you see when Harry went down? Did you see his face, like the TV saw his face groggy, and where was he? Did you say anything to him?
No, you don't say that because in game you see so many big collisions. Like the game is so combative, and it's just like if someone gets winded, like sometimes people are just on the ground and it takes them a while to get to their feet, and that's what I saw. But I know there's like obviously concussion's a big issue in the game. It's always going to be a talking point. But I think if you peel it back, I feel like the club did the right thing by him. They followed the protocol, and he passed it, and he had a big impact when he came back on too, which was good for us.
When people get winded on the ground, do they go? Does that still happen a lot?
Do you want me to test it out?
No,
Yeah, I was going to say.
'Cause I remember when I used to get winded, you lie on the ground, and all you hear is.
Yeah, you still get a bit of that.
Do you?
What do you reckon?
What do you look at?
Me and Tom will come on each side to get you in the middle, Rolly.
I haven't been winded. I haven't had cork legs for years either. You can leave them behind as well.
Do you think Zach Butters could use a good wife at the moment? I can't imagine a partner would allow you to come home having spent $36,500 playing through indiscretions so far this season.
It's a lot of money. I don't know his marital status. Is he married?
dead.
Yeah. Well, look.
Single, I'm sure.
And it's the game's hard. You sometimes got split seconds to make decisions. I'm not sure what your tally is at the moment. I had a period where I was on the receiving end of a few fines, and it didn't go down all that well at home. But he's got a significant number next to his name, doesn't he? What is it?
36,500.
Is that number one now?
Yeah.
It's a good effort.
Surpassed
What is he,
Toby
23,
Green, didn't he?
24?
This
Yeah, he
week,
did.
I think.
Well, how have you fared in the fine state?
Got a couple of fines, but nothing too serious. I got one for pulling hair once, which was accidental, but you get stung for
Pulling hair, big time.
you get stung for some little stuff these days. So even see if you clip the umpire, sometimes it's a bounce, you get done for that. So I think the umpires keen to lie in their pockets sometimes. Not the umpires, sorry, the AFL, I should say.
There's our headline.
Yeah. I meant the AFL.
Can I change the subject? The Carlton heritage, Jared had it at the top of the show. Just those images for us older people to see Bruce Dool and Swan McKay and Sid Jackson. What was it? I know you've met them before, but what was it like bringing a lot of the Carlton greats together?
It was unbelievable. Like, when I went to the shoot, I actually didn't know they were all going to be there. So it was actually a bit of a surprise. But
Craig Bradley.
It's the first time I think I've met Bruce Dool, and you hear so much about him. Yeah, because he doesn't really get out and about much.
No.
He doesn't like the big crowds. He doesn't go to games. He even said to me the other day he gets nervous. He doesn't even watch the games live because he gets too nervous. So it was some cool moments. And the one thing I took from all those guys is they're so humble, and they just love being around, love watching the footy. They get excited to watch us play now, and they just love the whole Carlton sort of footy club. And we're pretty lucky to have those guys down, and they always offer us bits of wisdom and tell some stories from back in the day. So
What did he say to you? Jared told a really nice story. What he said to Jacob Wiedering.
no, I haven't. What do you say?
He said, "You're doing a good job." Jacob thought that was the highest praise.
Yeah, I reckon that's something Weeders would say in about 50 years too.
Did he say anything to you about your game?
No, he just said he loves just watching. He goes, once I see that we have a win, he goes, I'll chuck the replay on straight away. So that was pretty cool to hear. But I got some photos with Kenny Hunt. He's a WA man and wore number 9. So over the years, Hall
of Famer.
Yeah, I've sort of bumped into him a fair bit and built a pretty nice relationship with him. So, he's a star.
Terrific to have you both with us. Thanks for coming in.
Thank
Good luck.
you. Good luck, Tommy.
Good luck in the next little bit.
Appreciate that.
Get back in.
Right.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Keep this.